For decades, the name Reggie Smith has carried a single, unshakable meaning in the world of gospel music: power, passion, and a voice that could move an entire congregation to tears. His music didn't just echo through church walls. It filled concert halls, reached living rooms, and touched hearts across the country. Every note he sang seemed to carry hope, faith, and the strength to endure life's most difficult trials. Yet, behind the music and the bright stage lights, there was always something else, a quiet question that lingered in the minds of his fans. They had noticed the small things, the warm smiles exchanged during brief public appearances, the meaningful glances, and the rare moments his wife appeared by his side. She was a figure who somehow felt both present and hidden at the same time. Her absence from the spotlight only deepened the mystery. Fans whispered in private conversations, wondering if there was more to the story, if perhaps Reggie was quietly keeping something from the public eye. This wasn't gossip born from malice, but rather curiosity wrapped in admiration. His marriage had always seemed strong and genuine, yet so little was known about her. After years of complete silence, Reggie finally chose to speak. What he revealed confirmed what many had quietly suspected, but it wasn't scandal or rumor. It was something far deeper. It was a story about love, sacrifice, and a truth that had shaped every lyric he had ever sung. The reality behind Reggie Smith's life was not about secrets. It was about a love so steadfast it did not require the spotlight to prove its worth. For decades, audiences had seen him pour his heart into each performance, his songs filled with faith, hope, and quiet strength. But now we learned that many of those songs weren't just meant for the world. They were written for one person, his wife, the woman he calls the bravest person I have ever known. Their journey had not been an easy one. They faced years of illness, private battles, and challenges that could have broken even the strongest of bonds. Yet through it all, they stood side by side. Their silence wasn't a way to hide, it was a way to protect what mattered most: her peace, their life together, and the love they shared. While the outside world wondered and speculated, they lived their story privately, proving that sometimes the most powerful testimonies are the ones unseen. When Reggie finally opened up, it wasn't to generate headlines, it was to honor the woman who had been his anchor in every storm. In his own words, "The greatest song I'll ever sing is the life we've built together." That sentence captured the heart of everything. This was not a story about fame, music charts, or awards. It was about a love that had stood strong through the hardest of days. Now, when listeners hear Reggie's music, they experience it differently. The lyrics carry a deeper truth, because behind them is a man who has lived every single word. From the humble pews of a small southern church to the grandeur of center stage, Reggie's journey began where music was not just entertainment, but worship. The choir was the heart of Sunday mornings, and even as a child, his voice stood out, not just for its tone, but for the emotion it carried. By his teenage years, he was already leading worship services, his voice reaching far beyond the church walls. It wasn't long before gospel producers took notice, and in his early 20s, Reggie recorded his first album. Almost overnight, he became one of the most recognized names in gospel music. While his career soared, Reggie kept his personal life firmly shielded from public view. Fans knew he was married, he occasionally thanked his wife on stage, but she never became the focus of interviews. She appeared in public only on rare occasions, and when she did, she was always poised and gracious, but never spoke to the press. This mystery only fueled speculation. In a world where celebrities often share every detail on social media, Reggie's silence about his wife stood out. Some fans noticed her face was often turned away in photographs. Others picked up on his lyrics, sensing hidden meanings in his references to blessings unseen and storms weathered in silence. The turning point came during the height of his most successful tour. Without warning, several concerts were suddenly canceled. The official explanation was unforeseen personal matters, but fans couldn't help but speculate. Weeks later, Reggie returned not to a massive arena but to a church stage. During the performance, he introduced a brand new song, unlike anything he had sung before. His voice cracked as he dedicated it to his wife, calling her the bravest person I have ever known. In that moment, the audience knew they were witnessing something deeply personal. Soon after, in a rare and heartfelt interview, Reggie finally revealed the truth. His wife had been living with a long-term serious medical condition that required constant care and frequent treatments. From the very beginning, they had made the decision to keep it private, not out of shame, but to protect her dignity and peace. She never wanted the spotlight, he explained. She wanted the music to speak, not her struggles, and I respected that. This revelation changed the way fans heard his music. The themes of perseverance, faith, and quiet strength were no longer just artistic choices. They were drawn from his own life. Every song about leaning on God in hard times was about them. The response was overwhelming. Fans flooded social media with prayers and messages of love, sharing their own experiences of caring for loved ones through illness. Fellow gospel artists praised Reggie's devotion and his wife's resilience. Churches across the country prayed for them by name. Even those far outside the gospel community were touched by their story. What made it so powerful was not just the hardship they faced, but the way they faced it together, in private, without letting it define them. In an age when so many personal moments are broadcast to the world, they had chosen to live theirs quietly. As the interview closed, Reggie reflected with a soft smile, "We've been through storms together, but the greatest song I'll ever sing is the life we've built together." That single line carried the weight of everything. The concerts, the awards, the recognition of it mattered more than their shared life. Today,
Wow.
when people listen to Reggie Smith's music, they hear it differently. The mystery has been replaced by respect. His truth was never about scandal. It was about a life built on faith, love, and loyalty. And in the end, his greatest legacy may not be the songs themselves, but the love story that inspired them, because love doesn't always shout. Sometimes it lives in the quietest moments, and those are the ones that last forever.